All right, people, what is up? And welcome to the third episode of Wild Game Wednesdays. And this is one that I'm super excited for because today we're going to be taking this pork loin from this hog I shot down in South Texas and turning it into something absolutely delicious, and that is some pork pot stickers. So y'all stick with me, stay tuned, let's hop in the kitchen and get right to making them. All right, y'all, so we're in the kitchen right now, and like I said, we're gonna be making some delicious pork pot stickers. So I'm gonna go over the ingredients real quick with y'all here, and then we'll get right to cooking it. So of course, to start off, we have a few cuts of that loin from that hog that we shot right here. And then to go over some of the other ingredients, this is gonna be going in the filling. So we have a nice Napa cabbage right here. We have some green onions, some chives, and some shiitake mushrooms. And then to season it up, we have a little bit of minced garlic and minced ginger. You could do fresh. I always do this bottled version, just super easy instead of chopping it all up. Saves you some time. Then we have some soy sauce to season it up, a little bit of rice vinegar, some toasted sesame oil, and then some wonton skins here. This is what we're gonna be wrapping that filling in. This is what we're gonna be making those dumplings out of. Now, I know that pot stickers are usually made with a different type of dough, not wonton skins, but to save us some time and to save us some energy, instead of making our own dough, we're just gonna be using these things, and they should work perfectly fine, and we should be able to fry them up in the pan and they're gonna stay together nicely. So let's get right into making this awesome meal. So to start things off, all we're gonna do is take ourselves a nice sharp knife here and start chopping and mincing up this meat. We want it to be super fine. You could grind it, to be honest, if you had a grinder, but we don't have one over here right now, so we're just gonna chop it up super fine, and that is the first step. Okay, so here we are about 15 minutes later. I got everything nice and chopped up right here. As you can see, it's pretty fine. I'll be honest with you guys, if you have a grinder, like I said, use a meat grinder. That was a pain. It was not too fun sitting here chopping that. But next thing we're gonna do is chop up the vegetables. So we're gonna start with the cabbage right here. I'm just gonna go straight down the middle. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never seen a piece of cabbage like this in my life. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna turn it over, and we're just dicing this just like we did the rest of it. Actually, we're gonna use the smaller half because I don't think we need that much. Also, real quick, back to the meat. I'm not sure how much meat we have. I didn't weigh it. If I had to guess, we're probably pushing maybe 1.5 pounds. So somewhere around there, just if you're making this recipe at home, just so you know, about 1 pound to 2 pounds of whatever ground meat you want. And also real quick, talking about that, if you don't have the wild game, if you don't have the wild pork, whatever, you could use this with deer meat. You could do this with, like I said, if you don't have the wild game, ground turkey, ground chicken. I guess you could do it with ground beef, obviously ground pork. You can do it with whatever you want. If you're using a leaner type of meat, like this ground pork, whatever, whenever we get to the steps down here where we're adding all the ingredients in, maybe add a little bit of water in with it so it keeps it hydrated and it doesn't just dry out. No fat in this type of meat. So anyway, so we're gonna take this, we're gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut off this ugly stuff right here. We're gonna get rid of that. And then we're just gonna take it and start slicing. And that's perfect. And this is gonna go, like I said, with the meat in the filling that's gonna be wrapped up in the wonton. So we'll take this, probably roughly about a cup or 2 cups of chopped cabbage. We're gonna get our measuring cup right here, but that's perfectly fine right there. You don't have to have it perfect, just add that in there and start mixing it together. So we have about 1.5 cups right there of the cabbage. We're gonna throw that in. Now we're gonna go with the onions right here. So I got a couple batches of these because we're actually gonna use some of these to garnish and then some of these in here. So you wanna go ahead and chop the whites and the greens. Don't throw them away today. We're using everything we can. We're just gonna slice these up, toss them in there, and then from there we're gonna move on and cut up the shiitake mushrooms. You could also add carrot. You could add really whatever you want. Just most recipes I see have cabbage, green onion, and then either a variation of carrot and mushroom or one or the other. So today we're going in with the mushroom. I'm gonna finish chopping this and chop up those mushrooms, and then we'll get back to y'all. So we got our mushroom and onion chopped up here. We're gonna go ahead and add that in there. About 1 cup of mushroom and about 1 cup of onion. If you like more onion, you like less onion, go ahead and add whatever you want. I do wanna tell you, I'm not following a specific recipe. Like I said, I looked up a bunch of recipes. They said add this, add that, but I didn't look at the amounts. I just know that I like a lot of onion, so I added a lot of onion. I know that I like a lot of mushroom, so I added a lot of mushroom. I do want to say, if you enjoy these cooking videos, not just the Wild Game Wednesdays, but also the catch and cooks, the cooking part of those videos, and you want the recipes laid out for you with the exact amounts and how to make it for yourself, I do have a Patreon. So I'll have that link down below, and I put all my recipes on there. I also do a weekly fishing forecast, fishing reports, different stuff like that. You can go ahead over there and check it out on Patreon at Before Outdoors. With that being said, let's go ahead and add the rest of our stuff. So next thing we're gonna add in is some squeezed garlic. We'll take that, add about that much, a couple tablespoons. We have a lot of stuff here, so we're gonna wanna add quite a bit. Then we're gonna add in some squeezed ginger. Ginger is pretty strong, so just do whatever you want to your liking. About a tablespoon and a half. We might add some more, or maybe not, depending on how it looks after we mix it up. Next thing we're gonna do is go in with some low sodium soy sauce. About that much. Then we're gonna go in with some rice vinegar, a little bit less than the soy sauce. And this is just gonna moisten everything up, make sure that meat all sticks together, and all that good stuff. Then we'll also go in with the last thing, which is some sesame oil. Be careful with this stuff. It's very strong tasting, so it can overpower a dish super easily. But that's pretty much it for the seasonings. We're gonna add a little bit of black pepper to that, and we might crack an egg in it to get everything to stay together if it doesn't already stay together. So let's go ahead and mix this up. Just gonna fold it together. I did read that you don't want to use your hands and mix it a lot, because if you do that, then your meat will start getting a meatball-like texture, which is not what you want inside your dumpling. As you can see, I'm already starting to think that I added too much cabbage, but it'll be all right. So since we bought wonton wrappers here, wonton wrappers are traditionally squares like this. So what we have to do so we can make our dumplings is cut them into nice little circles. As you can see, I have a little dumpling right there. First one I've ever made in my whole life. It turned out way better than I expected. So what we're doing is we're just taking this. You could use a cookie cutter or something like that. I actually believe this is to fry an egg in, so you can keep your eggs separate. But we're just pushing down with this thing and then just cutting around it because it's not sharp. But I had a cookie cutter out, but the cookie cutter was too small. If you have a bigger circular cookie cutter, that'll work great. This is a little bit small, but it's all we have, so it's gonna have to work. So we're just cutting around it like that. And then we have our little circles. So I'm gonna do this for a whole bunch of these things here because we have a ton of meat, and it uses way less meat than you would think to make a dumpling. I'm talking like, that's like one dumpling. So we're gonna cut a whole bunch of these here, and then I'll show you how we're wrapping them up. We have all of our wrappers cut into circles right here. We have our meat ready, and then we have a little bit of water, because with wonton wrappers, I believe you're supposed to put a little bit of water around the outside to help them stick. So I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna get our hands dirty here. So you're gonna take it, you're gonna grab a little scoop of meat, and it takes a lot less than you think. About that, maybe a touch more. I think that's good. And then we're just gonna take a little bit of water here, wet our finger, run it around the outside. Something like this, guys. To be honest, I'm kind of just making this up. And then we fold, and then we take the end, we squeeze the end together here, and we start doing this little move like this, so you can get that signature pot sticker look. And I am no professional, but I believe it's something like this. Like I said, y'all, this is the first time I've ever made dumplings. So they're not gonna be perfect, but guess what? They're dang sure gonna be edible. We wrap and fold. I put too much filling in this one, so it's having a little bit of trouble here, but we'll just call it like that. That was good enough. We got a couple little creases in it. Hey, like I said, it ain't perfect, but it is edible. Just put that down, and we're gonna continue to do that for about 50 of these things, or until we run out of either wonton or filling, which I believe we're gonna run out of wonton before we run out of the filling. This looks like enough to make like 200 dumplings, so let's get to it. Got our whole tray of dumplings made here. We still have plenty left to make, probably about double this. As you can see, some of these are not as pretty as others. These are, these are failed ones, but then we have some that look great like this. So the way we're gonna cook these is we're going to put them in the pan with a little bit of oil, sear them, get them nice and crispy on the bottom, like the pot stickers that you see at the restaurant. And then we're gonna add in a cup and a half of water, put the lid on, and let them steam until that meat is completely done on the inside. Because this is wild pork, we do need to make sure that we cook it to 165, 170 degrees. So we're just gonna make sure that we have them thoroughly cooked. It might take a little bit longer, but that's the plan. So right now, let's go ahead and get this turned on. We have 12. We're gonna turn it up pretty high, medium-high heat, dump in some oil. Oop, that's probably a little bit too much, but it's okay. And then once that oil gets hot, we're just gonna start layering them in. And we're gonna cook probably all these at once. So it's gonna be a full pan, but that's gonna be all right. Y'all stay tuned, it should take about 20 minutes on the cooking, and then we'll be ready to eat. Okay, the oil's hot, we're gonna start laying our dumplings in there. So we're just gonna take them. This would be the bottom side of your dumpling. and they're gonna start to sizzle. Probably could let it get a little warmer, but that's all right. We'll turn it up a little bit. The pan is gonna cool off significantly as we add all these, but we're just gonna throw a ton of them in here, pretty close together, like I said, and let them start to get nice and crispy on the bottom. So already as I'm laying them in here, you can take a look. Some of them have fallen over on their backs. These are sitting straight up, these are straight up, but some of them have fallen over. Now what I've already discovered that you can do, you can take them and push them down how you want them to sit in the pan before you put them in there, and that's gonna keep it from rolling over. Perfect, just like that. So take it, push it down in the pan a little bit. Might mess up your beautiful shape a little bit, but you're gonna get a better cook in the end, so. As you can see, these first ones are already starting to turn brown. So real quick here, while we're cooking these, I want to show y'all what they look like already. That's what we're looking for, that nice crispiness on the bottom. Show y'all another one here. Look how nice that looks in golden brown. So we probably are only going to fry this about another minute or two so they don't burn, but they all get a nice golden brown crispiness. And straight in with the water and put the lid on. Okay, it's been about 4 or 5 minutes here. We're going to go ahead and add our water. God, the smell of these is amazing. So let's just go pour it straight in with the water. We're going to start with about that much. About half a cup of water there for this size pot. Cover them back up. Make sure that heat's going. We're basically just gonna let them boil and steam in there and let them cook all the way through. I may add some more water if I don't think they're done. I'm gonna check the temperature with the little thermometer just to be safe because like I said, it is wild pork. But should take no more than I'd say about 10 minutes doing this and we'll be ready to eat. So I'm also going to make a little dumpling sauce to dip them in. So let me show you how to do that real quick and then we'll check back in on these. Now the sauce we're gonna be making is super simple. 3 main ingredients here: soy sauce, rice vinegar, and a little bit of white sugar. Now, you could also add in some toasted sesame oil. Like I said earlier, this stuff is very overpowering, super strong, so be careful with it if you choose to add it. Let's go ahead in with some soy sauce here. You're gonna mix this how you want it. So, we got a lot of dumplings, we're gonna want a lot of sauce. Start with about that, and then end with our rice vinegar. If you want it more vinegary, more bitter, add some more rice vinegar. If you want it very light and fresh, add just a little bit. So I think about like that is good for me. Let's take our spoon, get a little bit of sugar, sweeten it up. About like that. Then we're gonna go ahead and give it a mix and taste it. I'm thinking I may want a little bit more vinegar, but mix that up. All right, here we go. That right there is perfect. We're not gonna add anything else. We're just gonna set this aside, see if those dumplings are done yet, and then let's dive right into them. Okay, all of our water has evaporated. It's been about, I'd say, 15 minutes. We go ahead and take them out of here and put them on a plate, serve them up. You can come take a look at how they look. Oh, they're blowing up, you gotta be careful. Golden brown. So we're just gonna lay them on our plate, get them out of this pan, and then we'll put our sauce in the middle and we'll be ready to eat. Okay, we got them plated up. We're gonna go ahead and give them a try here. So grab one of these dumplings and show you how they look. Oh, got my chopsticks backwards. Grab this one right here. Nice golden brown bottom on them. Perfect. Beautiful looking dumpling. Dip it in the sauce. Let's give it a bite. Tastes just like a restaurant. Y'all take a look at the inside. Perfect little dumpling right there. I would double dip, but we're gonna have some more people eating this, so we'll go in for the rest of it. But first I wanna say thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you're not already. If you are, like always, thank you guys so much. That's all I have for y'all right now. We're gonna finish off this plate and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.